Okay, final round of this Temur Tower League. And I think the first time we've started off with a Dynavolt Tower in hand. Actually, no, that's a complete lie. That's just a complete lie. This hand seems fine. We've got an earlier tune, which we can use to get the second island for our Disallowing Gearhulk, and hopefully a turn-free tower. And, you know, it's a solid hand. So we'll start off with Sanctum, get that second island in advance. We're always going to need double blue. We never really need double green or double red for like one specific spell. Might need if we want to do two things in a row, but otherwise, no. Renegade map. So this could be a Grixis Improvise deck of some description. And we'll go ahead and run this island, because then we can play a mountain next turn and hold up anything in our deck, as opposed to if we played Ether Hub, where we'd have to use the mana. I'm just going to flash in the Aether here for mana efficiency. This doesn't seem like the kind of deck that's going to be aggressive, so playing the Aether Thief out here, this kind of seems sensible. Temptation here is to run out the Dynavolt Tower, but this could lead to a Metallic Rebuke. So what you kind of expect out of this deck. The question is, like, there's no real point in waiting, because we'd have to wait for 6 mana before we could do a Disallow, and even then they could have a second counterspell. But in this case, the tower resolves. So we'll see what our opponent does with 3 mana. Looks like they're on mono blue, so I'm not quite sure what to expect at the moment. Let's play a mountain and pass turn. Might draw the A for FIFA at the end of turn, because at the moment, like, this doesn't feel like it's going to be a creature heavy deck. So let's not necessarily need to use that Dynavolt Tower for triggers. Inspiring Stack actually just seems worrying enough that that could start doing some silly things. Let's just counter that. I'm going to draw here. Don't necessarily need to start pinging them down straight away, and we can always get that back. Play the Botanical Sanctum out, because this means we can play an untapped land next turn and start doing things with Gearhulk. Gonna get. I know what islands left. This doesn't particularly matter, but I'll get Forest. Tap my mana a bit. Well, not necessarily wrong. It's a bit awkward because we would have to use an energy to use Natural Obsolescence. But c'est la vie. Prophetic Prism, that can resolve. I'm not going to Obsolescence it at the very least. So mono blue, I guess this could be like mechanized production or something. Like, the Imperialist decks I'm used to facing are like Grixis. Mono blue, I'm not quite sure what to expect. Okay. I'm just going to hold up Gearhulk here. If they don't do anything, then we've got Anticipate we can fire off. But yeah, I'm gonna hold up the Gearhulk here. Inventor's Fair, that could become annoying in terms of life gain, but not the biggest worry. Cathar Shield. Oh, so this is probably Paradoxical outcome of some sort, if they're playing 0 mana artifacts. If they just pass, there's no reason not to anticipate here. At this point, I don't think I'm going to start drawing the cards. Probably start pinging with Dynavolt Tower. Rogue Refiner is probably the best option. Put some power on the board. I hope draw us into some stuff. I'm still just going to hold up this Gearhulk because I want to be able... Well, Negate could do a similar job actually. Because I imagine the main things to be scared of in this deck are going to be... they're not going to be creatures, I would imagine. The only creature I can think to be scared of is like SRAM, and even then we can Harness Lightning that. We can Harness Lightning anything down at this point, so we might as well play the Refiner and just draw the card and get the extra energy. Ether Hub, wish I hadn't played my land now, but there you go. And we can hold up Negate for anything that's particularly nasty. Paradoxical Outcome, that I will negate. guess the main thing I'd be worried about from this deck is Metalwork Colossus, but we've got a Natural Obsolescence for that. So yeah, we're up against an Aetherflux Reservoir deck. And it looks like they are currently lacking in the reservoir aspect. But we got to be careful, so I'll probably be wanting to leave up Gear Hulk as much as possible at this point. After sideboard, we can expect them to bring in a lot more counter spells, so we need to be wary of that. But we have some things we can bring in as well with the Natural Obsolescences. We also kind of get some free rolls here because I would not expect this deck to run any creatures. The fact they've shown us mono blue as well, if they were playing like SRAM, I would have expected them to fetch their planes up by now. And we could leave in Shock or Incendiary Flow maybe. Because we're going to be taking out like the Harness Lightnings at the very least. And probably Horribly Awry. So we're gonna have slots to fill. I mean, we're a bit of a tricky spot in some ways because we don't necessarily have the quickest clock against this kind of deck. I mean, if we get to Gear Hulk something out, then we probably would just win off the back of that. But at the moment, we've got a very tepid 7-turn clock. And of course, we have to factor in they are going to be gaining life from the Inventor's Fair triggers. So I'm just going to pass again. Yeah, thinking about it, I wonder if they're debating using a paradoxical outcome now. It could be they've got like a paradoxical outcome and an Aetherflux Reservoir in hand, and they're debating whether to do the paradoxical outcome there. I should have pinged with Dynavol end of turn. Whoops. I guess it's where they're debating to do it there, or do it like end of turn, so they can then like play the reservoir and then play all these artifacts out. So I'm expecting another paradoxical outcome here. Or not. So they're sacrificing Inventor's Fair to get an artifact. This is possibly Reservoir. Yep. And we're just going to try and Gear Hulk this. I don't really know enough about these lists to know if they would be running stuff like Negate. Baral's Expertise. I'm going to counter that. I mean, or do I want to counter that? And they get the Cathar Shield and Prophetic Prism back. We have to play out our Dynavolt Tower again. If we don't, what happens? We ping them down here, we take them to 15, we have a Gear Hulk in play, we attack for 8, take them down to 10. Then the tower should... yeah, the tower, yeah, I think just... it's going to be very hard for them to go off, and they obviously need to slow us down, so let's just negate this. Should put them far enough behind. And we've also got like the insurance of a Natural Obsolescence. So I go to 15. We're going to attack for 8 and then have a ping up. And we're not going to have problems getting the energy. So there's a Renegade map for an island. So looks like it's just the straight mono blue reservoir deck. Them tapping out there is pretty handy for us as well. So they cycle another Renegade map out. That might do it. I think it does actually. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it does it. So we are going to attack for 8. Taking him down to 6, 7. Man, I'm bad at maths. Play a Dynavolt Tower. Glimmer of Genius. Have 10 energy. To deal 6. It's going to be pretty hard to lose from there, I'd imagine. It's actually not just lethal, so a slight miscount on my part. Oh, if we hadn't tapped red... if we hadn't tapped red... have we played a land this turn? Okay, so some mistakes were made. It would be Sod's Law to now just die. But they're gonna have to storm out of the range of. They've got to get 43, 46, 49 life because we've got 2 pings available to us. So if we lose, this will be due to my own stupidity and inability to count. Won't be the first time. Okay, we are not punished for our mistake. So ceremonious rejection seems good here. Negate seems good. Release the gremlins seems excellent. Obsolescences seem good. 4 harness lightnings seem bad. 2 horribly arise seem bad. Aether Thieves, like, not the best, not the worst. And with no removal, Whirl of Virtuoso becomes fairly tempting. It just makes this a bit quicker. Dispel can hit Paradoxical Outcome and their counter spells. So maybe that's a better option. Yeah, let's play Dispels. Because, I mean, they're mono blue, the chances are they're going to try and fight Counter War, and Dispel's like one of the best cards to have in Counter War. Yeah, it's possible your brain Whirl of Virtuosos for shock and incendiary flow. But sometimes I think we're going to be in a situation where we, like, in that situation, if keeping their life total down could be big. And also the other reason is, like, we don't want to take out all the removal. Because, again, I don't really know what this deck is running, but I can easily see it being a situation where they would expect us to take out all removal. And then we get caught off guard by a creature we can't deal with. We'll keep this. It'd be nice to have a red source for an Attune, but we've got an early negate, and we've got a Dynavolt Tower. Hope of Girapur. Well, more reasons to bring in shock. I guess actually the thinking about playing a using it also as spare removal, it's a bit null and void in a deck where you're running 3 Dynavolt Towers. Okay, so we've got Negate and Ceremonious Rejection up when we can anticipate if they don't do anything. And this Hope of Girapur is a little bit worrying, I won't lie. We'll quite like to find a red source. Because we want to be in a situation where if they've got the reservoir right, well no, if they had the reservoir, we'd blow up the reservoir. But yeah, that Hope of Girapur, pesky. It's also just the fact that, like, that Hope of Girapur, it's just. I'm going to negate that. While there could be more important things to negate, I feel like giving our opponent a draw free. Poor idea. Not going to play the Dynavolt Tower out here because 4 mana is quite big. Because that's when they can play a Paradoxical Outcome or a Reservoir, and like we can't counter the outcome right now. But what we might be able to counter is we might be able to anticipate into a Dispel something. Glintnest Crane is actually a creature they might have brought in. So they've got a Reservoir in hand. Important to note. So we're getting in the danger zone because this Hope of Girapur just offers some nasty possibilities for us. Attune Vifa or a Dynavolt Tower. I'll take the Attune. No Ceremonious Rejection is not bad. So let's get a red source. So the question is, can we die next turn? Probably not. So we're going to hold up our rejections here to maybe counter that reservoir. The next turn we'll have the mana to like do a release the gremlins. I just don't want this to ever resolve. And also, let's counter it now because we don't want to like rely on doing stuff when they can just like hope of gear up or something. Metallic Rebuke, that's fine. I'll Ceremonious Rejection it again. I will not pay free. Take one, disallow. So the question is, do we release the gremlins here and blow up like Prophetic Prism and Hope of Girapur? Get ourselves some gremlins. But like, or do we pass a turn, keep up a disallow, and potentially counter something else? Because ideally we would like to get a tower down, but we can get a tower down and we can't interact with their turn at all. But that does mean the turn after. What's the worst case scenario for us? Is that they play a reservoir. But if we played a, if they play a yeah, because if they play a reservoir, they don't have the Hope of Girapur anymore. So what we could do is then disallow the reservoir if they try to go off. So let's do this, because it also just applies some pressure. I mean, I have to admit, like, I've been tempted to play more Release the Gremlins, because when Release the Gremlins is good, it's very good. Opponent draws 3. Would probably like to have disallowed that, to be honest. So there's another Hope of Girapur. Which isn't great. Would quite like an untapped land next turn to play a Dynavolt and hold up disallow. Spire Bluff was not it. Will attack. Because like they can jump block 1, but it's not a race that I would particularly favour them in. And every hit matters because Dynavolt, like because we're playing like basically Lightning Bolts ahoy, having those Dynavolts up can be pretty crucial. I don't know if I may be being too what's the word? Safe with these. Maybe I should just be running them out because once you've got them out, everything becomes ridiculous. Every instant sorcery is 4 energy, basically turns into a lightning bolt. So Renegade map. Take 1. I guess the other thing as well, we can actually counter the Hope of Girapur trigger if we wanted to. It would certainly give them pause for thought, but it would probably seem a bit silly. Double combat, don't enjoy Girapur. Okay, so negate was a pretty good draw there. Dealt this turn. Okay, so they have to sacrifice it the turn they deal us damage. Get some more damage in. Resolve our first Dynavolt. And now we have a disallow and a negate. Not completely safe from something like a Metallic Rebuke. But we'll see. Would quite like to get the Hope off the board as soon as possible. So, I mean, disallowing this does absolutely nothing, right? So if they can go off here, then they go off. So Bonesaw. Inspiring Statuary. And if they're not going off with Paradoxical Outcome here, I'm not sure if that's still worth sacrificing the Hope of Europa unless they've got another one in hand. Because I would want to, unless they think the Hope is definitely going to die, I would want to save that for a turn where you're going to combo off. Improvise. Oh yeah, Statuary turns on Improvise, of course. So there's Outcome, so they go up to 7. 3 lands. We might be getting comboed out here, we'll see. But they've got to do it this turn, otherwise we're going to have a fairly big safety net. So what are the cards in their hand actually? Bonesaw. There goes Bonesaw. So a Glint Nest Crane. And a Renegade Map. So there's the Saw. There's a Crane. So 3 mana. It's got another Bonesaw. Don't know why I typed that out. No, we're just going to play it. So now 4 mana with Improvise. So they could Outcome again. So at Outcome, bounce these, have 2... Okay, so didn't go off that turn. That's pretty big. So now we get a Disallow and a Negate. We know one of their cards is Renegade Map, which is fairly much a blank. I'm going to negate that. I feel the draw freeze is just a little too dangerous, I think. And we've got a backup counter spell in case this is like to bait out our counter spell and then they resolve a reservoir. Okay, that resolves. Renegade Map, we knew about that. Not going to Paradoxical out. Not going to Dynavolt here because they could Paradoxical in response. Oh, another negate. That's a good one. So I'm going to anticipate here. This might be a bit greedy. But we can kill the Crane here. And there's a good chance this finds us a... Well, there is a chance this finds us another land. Which means we can hold up Disallow and Negate. The 2 gremlins are doing work here. I mean, maybe that's ballsy to go for that, like, but it feels like if they had a counter magic there, they would have countered that negate last turn. Okay, so they did have Paradoxical Outcome. I now feel vindicated in having not anticipated end of turn for that. The rare good play from me. Possibly an obvious play, but the rare good play from me. So we've got them under a fair bit of pressure here. If we can survive through this turn, which Disallow should help us because it feels like they just don't have counter magic. I feel like they would have maybe tried to counter this Reverse Engineer. But if we get to counter something here, we're going to have 2, 4, 7. We've also got Lumbering Falls that we can activate. Might actually just activate Lumbering Falls next turn, because we can... Well, with an untapped land, we can activate Lumbering Falls and hold up Disallow. But yeah, well, let's Disallow. Like, the question is, like, would I counter Reverse Engineer? I'd probably countering like Reservoir or Paradoxical Outcome on site. This is 7 mana? Whir of Invention is 4. Okay, well this is going to be assumably a Reservoir. Oh, Whir of Invention puts it onto the battlefield. Whoops. Haven't seen... Yeah, it's Chord of Calling, straight to the battlefield. Okay, we've still got a disallow. We can counter triggers. This is... So, you know how I just praised myself for that really good play and not anticipating in case they're Paradoxical Outcome? Consider that revoked, because it probably wasn't that good a play, and that was a dumb one. For some reason I thought Whir eventually went to hand. Can be a downside to playing against rogue decks, is sometimes they catch you out of what you can do. Is this Paradoxical? Okay, so now this we disallow. I mean, to be fair, actually, had we countered the Whir, they would have got to Paradoxical Outcome anyway. So, that actually works out for us. Do they just die? 2, 4, 7, 10. So, unless there's a... Well, they could have something at instant speed, I guess. Because they'll gain a life off the Reservoir. Looks like we're safe. Looks like... Trying to think anything, 1 blue. And they could gain life, but they don't. So... Hey, 3-2. We get a chest. And the last chest I opened had a Masterwork in it. Had a Masterwork Paradox Engine. Which isn't great. You'd rather open it in paper. Masterwork Planar Bridge. Still have like 8 tickets online. Treasury chests are worth like 2 tickets. And really I should sell them. Because I'm pretty sure they get bought for like 2 tickets. And 2 tickets is like a card for a deck. But I mean 2 tickets is also like a quid. So I'd just rather open it. Because why not? So let's see what we get. Punished! I don't even know what this card is. From Rise of the Eldrazi. 2-2 trample for 4. Enter battlefield, put a +1/+1 counter for each card in your hand. If you do, discard your hand. Oh god. When it leaves the battlefield, draw a card for each +1/+1 counter on it. Didn't know this card existed. Kinda wish I didn't. Yeah. You probably shouldn't open treasure chests, but to be honest, for like a quid, I just can't be bothered to like save them all up because I'd have to win and sell like 6 of them to do something I wanted. But yeah, so that is the completion of this Temur Tower League. I'm probably going to do another at some point. I think this deck is actually interesting to play. And I think the result could have been better. I still think that third match against the Mardu Ballista deck was certainly misplayed from my part. But you know, this is why you test the decks. This is why you run them out. You live and you learn. It's just how the way I used to do it is record it and stream it because people will tell me if I do stupid things. I'll know if I do stupid things. I can always come back and watch it. So, hope it's been enjoyable. Maybe I'll try and get some more content out this week. I've got a hankering to play some Modern. Merfolk is back on the agenda. So maybe we'll play some of that. And also, Modern is my favourite format, and hopefully, like over the next few months, there'll be a lot more content for it as I prepare for Grand Prix Copenhagen, Grand Prix Birmingham, Modern PPTQ season. These are all things on the docket, and Modern Masters has done some incredible things to prices on Magic Online already. So the Fetchlands knowing that Fetchlands will be reprinted at Rare has really dunked the price of Fetchlands, which are a bit of a problem online. Basically, because like a lot more Modern Masters gets opened online than in paper in some ways, because it's more draftable. If that makes sense, like from a draft point of view, there's more people drafting it, and the cards were now expensive to begin with. So if I had to give you some examples, Damnation has gone down by 11 tickets, Verdant Catacombs has gone down by 9 tickets just today. Oh no, sorry, I'm looking at paper prices. It's much worse. So yeah, a card like Verdant Catacombs at the start of this week was 18 tickets per, and now it's 10, and continuing to fall. So just getting a playset of Verdant Catacombs for like 40 tickets is just so much better than it used to be. So might expect some more modern content purely because the cards are just going to be much more accessible now. So hopefully we get some of that. I've been playing Grixis in paper a fair bit. It'd be nice to actually move that over to online, but unfortunately Ancestral Visions and the lands are a bit tricky, as are Cryptic Commands. None of those have been put in Modern Masters yet, but I can hope. But yeah, thanks for watching. If you want to like and subscribe and share and all that, go for it if you want. If not, hey, I'm with you. I can't remember last time I did that. I subscribe to a lot of things. Like and share, yeah. But yeah, have a nice morning, afternoon, or evening, whoever you are.